For the last few months, I've been carrying a new self-defense knife every day. So today we're going to take a look at the TDI Law Enforcement Knife from Ka-Bar. Alright guys, so back up top on the bench here, we've got the TDI Law Enforcement Knife from Ka-Bar. This particular knife was designed by John Brenner, founder and owner of the Tactical Defense Institute, which is where this knife gets its name as the TDI knife, or TDI Law Enforcement Knife as it's commonly called. The purpose behind this design is to be an extreme close quarters encounter combat knife. This knife is commonly marketed to law enforcement officers as good to carry on your support side. The thinking behind this design is that it would be able to be rapidly deployed in case your pistol is out of service for some reason. Either someone's attempted to grab your pistol or your strong hand is disabled in some way. You can then quickly pull this knife with your support hand and engage the threat. So this is marketed and billed as sort of a last option knife. Now included in this package when you purchase is going to be the knife and a hard plastic sheath that's molded to fit the knife. On the back here you've got a single metal clip. And this is rated per the TDI website to fit belts of up to 1 3/4 inches in width and with a thickness of up to 1/4 inch. The overall length on this knife is going to be 5.6 inches. It features a drop point blade design. Now you can get this in a few different blade varieties as well. Apart from the straight blade design that you see here, you can also get it with a full serrated blade, a half serrated, a tanto, a larger drop point, and a hinderer blade. Now the blade itself is 2.3 inches and it is a hollow ground design. The metal on this is an AUS 8A stainless steel, with the 8A referring to an annealing process that's done to the stainless steel. What the annealing process is basically is a way to relieve stress out of the blade. When the bar stock is rolled out and turned into this knife, stress is introduced into the steel. To relieve that stress, the steel is heated to a certain temperature and then left to cool, and this is basically what annealing is. Basically, it's supposed to result in a stronger blade, more comparable to a carbon steel. One of the good things about having a stainless steel blade is it's going to be less prone to rusting. The downside is, though, it's not typically as hard or as able to keep an edge as a carbon steel blade, whereas carbon steel is more prone to rusting. So there's some trade-off whether you go with a carbon steel or stainless steel blade. Now, the TDI website does list this to be at a 57 to 59 Rockwell, so it is a very hard blade. It's going to be durable. I have not had to sharpen this yet. I've had this and used this for a couple months now. I've used it on basic day-to-day tasks, opening boxes, cutting rope, things like that, and it's not needed sharpening yet. So it is, in my opinion, it's a pretty good blade so far. I initially purchased this to take a trip up to Massachusetts to visit some family. For those of you who don't know, the People's Commonwealth of Massachusetts does not like you to carry your firearm, so I was not able to use my conceal and carry permit while on that trip. But they do allow you to carry knives of pretty much any length you want. So I wanted to invest in a good self-defense knife because I do take my family's safety and my own safety very seriously. So I went ahead and looked at this on a friend's recommendation, and overall I've been pretty happy carrying it. And even, being back in Missouri, I am able to carry my EDC pistol, and I still carry this every day along with that because this is very easy to conceal. Here's kind of the impression that I've gotten over the past few months carrying this. For the pros, there are a lot of pros to this design. It's a very small overall size, so it's very easy to conceal on the belt line. Its size also makes it very comfortable for a variety of different body types and sizes. I'm a little bit bigger individual myself, so having a lot of things on my belt line, it can kind of jab into the love handles a little bit. But this one is able to conceal very well, and it's very comfortable, even getting up and out of a car, sitting, standing. It seems to be very comfortable no matter what position I happen to be in. As far as actual usability, the grip on this is very comfortable. When it's actually on your belt line and you go to get a grip, you can't get all the way into the handle, which I think is somewhat of a con here. But if using it as it's designed and you've got your thumb positioned on the back here, once you get it out of the sheath, you can easily push your hand down into a full position on the handle, and it makes for a very secure grip on this. So I think overall the design on this is great. I find it very usable and very easy to keep a good grip, even when my hand might be slightly sweaty or I might have, something on my hand that would otherwise impede my grip. Another good thing about this knife is it is very affordable. A lot of self-defense knives you can get into the $100, $200 range buying a good knife, especially something designed this well. This one actually is advertised currently at $55 on the TDI website and on Ka-Bar's website as well. I actually purchased this for just over $30 on Amazon, and I'll include a link down in the description where you can get this on Amazon as well. Now, those are pretty much the pros that I see with this. The cons, there is one major con that I do have about this, and it's kind of a big one in my opinion, and that's the sheath. Overall, the design of the sheath is pretty good. It retains the blade well, it's a very good fit, so there's no qualms there. But the clip is a major problem with this one. Obviously, this is going to vary a little bit based on what belt you have in your EDC setup, but one thing that I do notice that I have a problem with is being able to consistently get this to latch onto my belt. When I initially put this down, the tab on this, I'm going to see if I can get this into the camera here. The tab on this that latches onto your belt is very, very small. And oftentimes when I'll put this on and then test to make sure that I've got this secured onto my belt, it'll just pull right out of my belt line. So it does take a lot of fidgeting to get this into place to where it'll stay onto my belt. And I really, really don't like that. I don't like knowing that in the event that I need to pull this rapidly in a self-defense situation, that this might not latch onto my belt. Granted, I will say once I do get it secure onto my belt, I've never had it come loose in using it. This particular con is not going to be a deal breaker for me, even though I do think this clip is very poorly designed. I think overall the design of the knife is so good, and the fact that this is a popular design of knife, there is a lot of aftermarket sheaths that you can get for this. So I'm going to be looking into purchasing one that has a more generous clip. You know, I'd like to find something that has a clip very much like this Holster magazine holster that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. When putting this on my belt line, it instantly clicks into place, and you can see it's got a very, very generous clip right here to grab a hold of your belt. So I have no problems keeping this secure and getting it initially secured onto my belt line to where I don't have any thoughts that this might come out of place on me when I go to draw a magazine out of here. So I'm looking for something overall like that. And I found a couple that I think are going to be really good. If I find one that I really like, I'm going to be doing a review on it and let you know what I think and if it's been a good investment for me. Because the price point on this is so good at just over $30, spending another $20 or so on a better sheath for this, I don't think that's that bad of an investment. And I think it's something that's really going to aid in this being a good self-defense tool. So overall, I would advocate buying this knife. I think it's a very good design. It's good at what it does, and it's purpose designed for self-defense. Now, all that being said, my knowledge and expertise on knives is fairly limited. I have looked up a bunch of the specs on this and done my own research, and I'm very comfortable with the quality, fit, finish, and the function of this knife. I did look at a few other self-defense knives, and this one met all the criteria that I needed it to have, and I've been really happy with it overall. If you're currently carrying a different self-defense knife and you think it's a better fit than this one, go ahead and leave me some notes down in the comments and tell me what knife you carry and why you carry it. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of this knife if you already own it, or if you didn't choose this knife for some reason, you know, what the reason was you went with a different design. So definitely let me know down in the comments. So thank you guys very much for joining me tonight and looking at this knife with me. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button and think about subscribing so you can see all the latest videos as they come out. A little later this week, we're going to do a brand new project build. We're going to be building an AR9, so you should be seeing that later on this week. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. Have a good night, guys.